Hello, Luce! Thank you for coming in, and pulling a panther is definitely accurate in this case, because I have gone live early. Good evening, Twitch! Wasn't my last stream on Glimesh, not Twitch? Possibly? Oh, it might have been. I'm sorry, I haven't updated the all of the shoutouts, Luce. I know Steve was also harping about his still being the Twitch link. So I will need to find a way to update those for you two specifically. Or perhaps for the rest of the Claw crew. Who knows what's going to happen. Your bot is broken. I know it is. This looks a bit funny. Where is Steve? That's a very good question. Hello, White Panther fan. Welcome to today's, first of all, early and short stream, actually. To double whammy. Double whammy. The main reason it's a little bit shorter is because I'm leaving. I'll just pause for dramatic effect. So the reason it's early, the reason I'm early is because I was ready to go, and so I thought, might as well go. And the reason it's a shorter stream today, short meaning it's not 4 hours like we did on Monday. 4.5, I think it was. It's more like maybe an hour and a half, something like that. Depends on how long we need to get things done, right? So the reason it's shorter is because I'm leaving. But I'm leaving in a positive way. I'm leaving so that I can also come back. If that makes sense. I am going on holiday. Never too early for some Maddie no sequel. Wait, I have to say that again, Luce. Maddie no sequel, I believe is what you intended. I'm leaving, aka going on holiday, and I will be back on Sunday evening, and therefore we are leaving tomorrow morning, and I just need that rest because I'm going to be driving. So I need to have a few solid hours of sleep, and after Twitch streams, I don't know how most of you are, but I'm super hyped after Twitch streams. I tend to, you know, raid someone and then I'll stick around in their stream for a while. And you know, then I'll maybe pop into another few streams as a viewer just to say hi to people, you know, do the rounds, right? And well, it's yeah, it's tiring. It's hard to like fall asleep because you're still like you're very high, if you will. You're still like kind of feeling the adrenaline and stuff. So let me just bring up something here. In the meantime, everybody should tell me tb.stream.find1 title Maddie Two Shoes. Do you care to explain your code, Luce? Can you explain your code, comment it, so that we all know exactly what you meant? I just want to get the description of the thing that I submitted to do the thing that I'm doing today. I want to see if I can find it. Give me a second. Also, what language is that, Loose? I'm actually not sure. Is that pseudocode or is that actually like Mongo stuff? Where did I submit this? It's so hard to find stuff. Good thing for search. Good thing for search. Ah, here we go. In the stream database, find and return the first item where the title is Matty Two Shoes. MQL, Mongo Query Language. That's interesting. So Mongo has decided to also adapt SQL, or is it just the language for accessing native? Well, okay, SQL only works on relational databases, right? I don't know much about non-relational. Well, not structured, sorry. Structured, unstructured, I should be saying. They're still relational. I don't know much about unrelational, non-relational DBs like Mongo or what's some other ones? Cassandra. What's database? No SQL. Nice, there's even a MongoDB blog post article about, oh well, MongoDB article about what a non-relational database is. So it's interesting, they talk about relational and not structured. So it's like structured and unstructured data. I'm typically more familiar with that. But non-relational stores data in a non-tabular form, but that doesn't mean it's not relational. It does not follow the relational model provided by traditional relational database management systems. Interesting. Yep, it's our query language for document databases. That was a very simple example, but it can get super powerful. Yeah, I'm familiar with the kind of benefits around NoSQL. I've never really had enough data to justify it, if you will. Gaston! Hello, Matty, how are you? I am doing good, thank you. I went live a little bit early today, a little bit eager to go. I'm going on a mini holiday tomorrow, meaning I'm back Sunday. So we're not endangering Monday's stream. Going to a spa with my partner, so we are both very, very much looking forward to that. I actually applied today. I actually put the mental health tag on my stream because I wanted to actually... Oh, sorry, double sound for a second there. I wanted to actually just address that very briefly at the beginning now. Maybe not that many people are here yet, and that's okay. It'll be in the VOD eventually when I get around to uploading them on YouTube. At the moment, I'm like, I don't know how many weeks behind, like 6 weeks behind. How are you, Gaston? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Luz has also not been here in a while, so it's nice to see people back who I haven't seen in a while. It's very nice to see you all. The reason I put the mental health thing is because I haven't had a holiday with my partner since last year. I think March when we moved. That was the only time we had time off together. And that was, it's been very intense the last year and a half without having had, well, year and a half, year and 3-4 months, let's say. It's been very, very difficult sometimes to really pull away from just work and kind of the routine that we developed, and really take some time off because of working kind of in this remote setup, which I think has been very challenging. Gaston, I am fine, just coming from work. Did you commute? Were you going into the office? I haven't been in the office at all since, oh, well, not at all. I've been in the office of my new employer. When I started last July, I was in the office for a day. And then I went in for one other day about a few months later. But generally speaking, I haven't been working in an office since last March. And I think that's contributed to that overall, I would say, what would I call it? Psychological challenge. And yeah, so we really needed like some time off, and it was my partner who suggested that we just take a one night somewhere, just to have, you know, because we can't schedule any longer vacations at the moment for a lot of reasons, with pandemic and travel regulations being one of them. But yeah, so we said let's just book a night somewhere, so we did. Hey yo, Jay Walter, welcome in. How are you, my friend? How are you doing today? Gaston, I am working in the office now. I would like to work from home, but traditional company. Yes. Yeah. So it's actually kind of funny you say traditional company. I work for a quite traditional company here in Switzerland. Very, very archaic. And it's quite funny because they surprisingly did not follow the government's suggestion to bring people back into the office, and said, no, we're staying at home for the moment. And I think that's because a lot of people put pressure on them last time over the past few months to not just suddenly call everybody back into the office. I feel like my lighting is off today. Hold on. I feel like there's something weird here. Probably because I'm using something in light mode. Too much screen glare. Let's see if that helps, actually. Hold on. So if we do like this, let me go like this. Oh wow, that changes a lot. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this out and we're going to get started soon. People probably have questions about what the hell we're doing today, which is a legitimate question. That's why there's a today command. I'm a little bright. Are you saying I'm intelligent, Steffi? Thank you. Appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Steffi. Don't you put words in my mouth. I didn't. I'm just reading your comment. You're a little bright, which means I am intelligent. So anywho, let's do this. New insert slide. I'm going to show you what I'm doing in a second. Don't worry. New slide. Oh, everything is so bright. You always shine, but yeah, you're a little bright today. You know what we could do? We could also just adjust things. Let me do that. That's actually easier. Because I feel like we could do something like... we could just dial this back a little. It's also lighter outside because I started early. So technically that's part of the problem. That should be a little better now, I think. Oh! Thank you, whoever farted in my stream. I appreciate you. I always shine. Thank you, Gaston. I appreciate it. I decided to build a YouTube API integration backend during White Panther's stream today. It's been interesting. To integrate the API into what though, J. Walter? Where am I from? That's an interesting question, Gaston. Thank you for throwing paper ball at me, Ian. And also, you played Sound Anonymous? Interesting. Or was that not you? Interesting. You might have clicked the anonymous checkbox by mistake. I really thought it was you, but then it said anonymous, so I was like, oh, well, in that case. Just give me 1 second. I have to insert something before I lose it from my clipboard. I'm afraid to lose something. Insert text box. Just here is fine. Okay. I can take the bold out. It might have been a mistake. Okay, Ian. So Gaston, in regards to your question where I'm from, I am born in Canada. I lived there for 10 years. I then moved to Switzerland. I lived here for 4 years. Then I moved to Japan, where I also lived for 4 years. And then I came back here to Switzerland. So I'm from Canada by birth, technically, but I also feel like Switzerland is my home. So I am Swiss Canadian. J. Walter says it's more of a proxy. I wanted to see if I could make an app that would transform some of the polling REST APIs to WebSocket APIs. So I understand all those words, but I still don't understand what they mean together. That's probably because I don't have development experience. And yes, throwing paper is definitely White Panther's shtick. With shtick being SCHTICK, just like Steffi's pronunciation in Swiss German. Someone's got to do it. What are you talking about? I saw you doing some dev last weekend. Oh, Steffi, that's a secret. Can't tell anyone about that yet. Steffi and I have been working on something, actually. But it will be revealed in due time. Definitely. I realized that I wanted to adjust one particular thing, which is the audio delay, because I feel like it's delayed when it shouldn't be delayed. Let me just double check something. I've put the delay in there. I don't know why there's a delay. Someone will tell me if it's off sync, right? I mean, I don't hear my own stream as it arrives somewhere else. Is my family in Canada or they went with you? Well, I was 10 years old, so my parent and, well, rather my mom and my stepdad, who is basically my dad, that's a long story, and my brother, we moved to Switzerland, and the rest of my family stayed in Canada, but of course my stepdad's family is mostly in Switzerland. But he's actually British. Hence my slight affinity to British people, in a way. I mean, I understand British people very well, if that makes sense. Imagine a 10-year-old getting on a plane from Canada to Switzerland alone. We've done that without adults. It's called an unaccompanied minor. UM. Audio does look a little off, but Twitch does that a lot for me. So yeah, I'm gonna change that. Thanks, Alan, by the way. Welcome to you as well for joining the streams. So I canceled the delay now. It was at 300 milliseconds. I think I'd added it when I was doing some stuff that was a bit intense locally. And now I don't think, like, with what I'm running now and looking at RAM usage and CPU usage, I literally just have a browser open. So Ian is doing the right thing. Ian is contributing towards the bunny challenge. There's 15 days left. We have 74% raised, 75% raised. Thank you, Steffi. 76 rather. With that 6,000 in there. I have to say, Ian, 15,000 points. That is a respectable amount. So everyone is dumping their channel points into Bunny Cam Challenge, which is fine. I'm not going to be extending it again. So if you don't hit the goal within those next few days, then I'm sorry. It's just going to be 78%. Did it just increase? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, Jay Walter just did something. My contribution for this stream is done. Now time to save points for paper balls. You can throw as many balls as you like. So, is anyone curious about what we're doing today? We can just do a just chatting stream, but then I'll have to change categories. People get angry in just in science and tech if we just sit around here discussing nonsense. Yeah, so we're working on a presentation. And I know Panther's done this in the past. I'm definitely taking all the leaves out of her book. Because she's worked on her presentations and blog posts and all kinds of content on stream. Alan says, wait, you aren't supposed to discuss nonsense? Oops. Yeah, Steffi switched to just chatting. There's no code here. Yeah. I can put some code on screen just so we feel like it's not just chatting. How about that? We could do that. Or we just switch. I'll just burn your reticles. I'm sorry. So I don't have dark mode. Ah, well, I know what we can do. We can just make all the slide backgrounds black. How about that? Look at that. Okay, there we go. Problem solved. You may ask yourself what this is. And that's totally understandable. Like it's a bit of a odd thing to show presentations on Twitch. But Panther's done it in the past. I've even done it in the past. I've worked on a presentation for product analytics. And I wanted to get my community's feedback or Twitch's feedback on stuff that I've already written. Presentation is next Tuesday. If you want to join the presentation, if you want to troll, you're more than welcome to join the SDEC, which is the Search Discovery Education community. Yeah. It's not so important what it is necessarily. Yeah, I didn't procrastinate this time, Steffi. Last time it was the next day, but this time it's a lot more serious. For people who are not familiar with SDEC, I will explain what that is in a moment. I just wanted to catch up with chat. It's worse because the UI is still white. So Steffi, so you prefer it to be white then? Chat has spoken, we shall leave it in blind mode. I think we can compromise. We could probably just go gray for the moment. This is just an informational slide anyway. Stream idea. Alan says, a little script that just keeps typing in code samples on the side of the screen. You know what? We can do better. Oh, also, my background is do what you love, in case you were wondering what that says, because you can only see half of it. I have one for you. Okay? Alan, how about this? Okay? There we go. Science and tech stream. We're done. No problem. Steffi already posted the link. She knew. Gaston, is it a presentation event? Yes, it is. Oh, hi, Aaron. Hello. Nice to see you. Welcome. if you have the chance, do please go check out Aaron's channel, because Aaron streams non-nerd content. Let's be honest, it's not as nerdy as my stuff is, right? But Aaron is lovely, and we've even chatted off stream. We've had a chance to chat on Discord and have a call together, and she's really lovely. And I would be very happy if a couple people from here discovered her stream. She streams at completely different hours, so there's a good chance that you'll be able to watch both of us. I finally made your stream. That's what time is it for you? It's middle of the afternoon, right? It is actually do what you loot. I like that one, Data Dev. I like do what you loot. So the joke is this, right? Do who you love. Could also be do who you love. As well. It's definitely possible. All those things are possibilities. What's the chef's kiss for, Alan? So, okay, Aaron, I'm not that amazing, but thank you. I appreciate it. 1 p.m. Oh, okay, so there we go. It's a do who you love. I kind of thought that was a given. r/don't. What? I can't even read this subreddit title. Don't dead up the inside. Don't. Ah, the chef's kiss for the random emote, random code generator. Yeah. Steffi, I can't read this. Don't dead open inside. It's a subreddit. Ah, yes. Right. Because they, yeah, there was one with so I have a sign above my desk that says "Call your mom," that my dad gave me, which is like a reminder to call your mom. It's just this little wooden block, and in a photo I had taken that I sent to some of my friends, the C was kind of covered, and the A was sort of split the way that it's hung up, and it sort of could read "kill your mom." So my friends just edited the picture with a K in front instead of a C, and yeah, that was quite amusing. So okay, so enough like faffing about, people. Listen, okay, we have to do serious stuff now. Seriously. Otherwise I'm gonna paste everything and then we're done. No. So Gaston, you asked if it's a presentation event. So the SDEC is a community where they have picked I'll say it this way, even though it's not true if I'm in it, the creme de la creme of people in the data and analytics world to present a lot of different topics. And you can follow the link here to join the SDEC, the community. There's also a Slack team if you'd like to join the Slack workspace as well. And you can join for free, and then you can attend the presentation on Tuesday. What is your presentation about? Cake? So, Aaron, it's kind of about cake. The cake is an analogy. And please, no one write in chat the cake is a lie, because it's not a lie. It's a Portal reference, in case anyone was wondering, which is a great game. I love Portal. The presentation is about what you see on screen. So let me just make this a little bit bigger. This is the synopsis of my presentation. I'll just make this a bit bigger so that everyone can read it. There is no cow level. No, there is not. There's no cow level. Essentially, it's about two things. The presentation is about analytics stacks. So technically, how do we set up an analytics tech stack, which is difficult sometimes, but it can also be very easy. We have to randomize this a little. There we go. We have to make sure we have different code at different times in case someone comes in and says, hey, why is the code the same as 2 minutes ago? So it just looks like we're writing different code now. So we can stay in science and tech for now. So it's about that, and it's about how an organization should be using that stack, because to bake a cake, it requires bakers, right? Typically one, but it's better if you do it as a team. A modern analytics stack framework. Two shoes without one. Can you add memes in the presentation? So Gaston, I can do whatever I like, but there's a catch. So this is like an event for the creme de la creme of the analytics community. The guy, Adam Greco, who is, I don't know if he founded the community or founded Search Discovery, the agency, who is hosting this community and doing all these, organizing all these presentations. He's Adam is a very, 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 very experienced practitioner in the field. Very, very well respected. I like him a lot. And a lot of these people in the community are more, they're not like us Twitch people. They don't maybe understand all the references in the memes. So we could include memes, but it might go over their head a little bit. Which is why for now what I've drafted, and this is very much still quite drafty, I would say. It just looks very pretty because I've been able to do a lot of stuff, but it still needs a lot of work. It might go over their head a little, it might even be uncomfortable. The other thing is very important, 30 minutes presentation, and that's a hard limit. There's no way we can go over 30 minutes. So I'm going to plan for 25. The SDEC is for advanced or for beginners, for everyone, literally any level. It really doesn't matter what level you are. I would say that if you have any data experience whatsoever, that's going to be helpful. But even if you're just curious, there will be tons of presentations there that are interesting enough, let's say, even if you're just new to the data analytics space. So yeah, 30 minutes is a lot. I guess it depends, right? It's our famous tech answer. 30 minutes is a lot if you want to cover one specific small thing. What I'm trying to cover is a huge topic, actually two topics, is basically how to set up a data analytics stack and team. So I'm covering both the technological and organizational components because, and I should put this in here somewhere, I have to make like a note slide. Okay. I have to include some things that have come to me just now talking to you all in chat. Cake needs both a recipe, which is the tech part, and a baker. People. You can bake a cake alone, but it's a lot of work and it's better as a team. I think I included some of these things in here. Yeah, I included some of those things, but I wanted to include those things. You had me at data. 30 minutes is plenty to fill for a presentation. Data dev name checks out. Yeah, your username definitely checks out, data dev. So the idea would be, I've just been lulled by myself. Isn't that great? Why? That's weird. Oh, did I change my... Oh dear. Did I change my username? I just realized that's broken. That's not good. My GitHub is my real name. So I can do a pull request to Panther's thing to correct it. Also, this song needs to end. I'm sorry. I can do a pull request to Panther's thing to correct it. Or I can change my GitHub username. Name? Interesting. Account. Change username. Unexpected bad things will happen if you don't read this. 30 minutes is really long for a presentation. Interesting. I think the reactions are pretty interesting about how some people think it's long and some people think it's short. Let's not do that. I'll just remember that this should be linked to Matthew Brand and not Matty Two Shoes. Let's get some new code. Oh my gosh, chat. Does anyone see what this is? That's why this project is so amazing. All right, so yeah, Panther, and she's not here. She was asking and she's not here. So yeah, that's very, very... Sorry, I'm thinking about leaving tomorrow morning. That's why my mind just wandered for a minute. She was raging on stream today. Yeah, I caught a little bit of that. I was off and on the computer a bit this afternoon. 30 minutes is long for a presentation. Data Dev's reply to Aaron says a ninja who streams for 6 to 8 hours. That's true. But watching a live stream is a very different experience than watching a presentation. Because a live stream is generally unprepared. I mean, the very nature of live streaming video is you can't really know in advance what... You can't really know what's gonna happen, right? I mean, some things can be scripted, but yeah, I think it's just completely unprepared. So Google YouTube API was giving her the worst time. Yeah. It's Google documentation, but everybody knows this. This is not a surprise that Google documentation is terrible. The new Google Analytics 4 documentation is just as bad as all the other previous editions of Google Analytics, despite the fact that people have been telling them for years that the documentation is insufficient. But I think documentation in general is insufficient. That's why like these new forms of documentation have come up, like what do you call them? Like video, what do they call them? Like video loops and stuff. I don't know what the name. There's a company, it's like on the tip of my tongue. There's a company that does like these, you can make like mini videos to explain to your colleagues about different concepts and things. Erin says she can't understand how a company that big can't figure it out. So look, I mean, even companies like Google get caught up in just the very nature of documentation being outdated compared to the way their tech teams operate. Even if you embed it as part of, like, I don't know, your definition of done or whatever, there's still going to be people who aren't as documenting friendly. Is that the right word? Who aren't as keen to document as others. It's just the reality. Sorry, something in my nose. So yeah, I think every company is going to deal with this. Steffi recently had the pleasure to have a go at Google Analytics 4 docs for work. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's also still very beta, to be fair, but they just call everything beta until they, I don't know, until they feel like they don't want to call it beta anymore. I love how this gives me, okay, I'll do a little sequel. From your mom.tour. The tour of your mom. Nightlight 90. Anyone can mess up. Remember when Google made Angular 1, they had to delete it all and start from scratch and rebuild. That is very true, Nightlight. And welcome to the stream. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm gonna try and work on my presentation now. As you know, as you said, Steffi, I'm still early because the presentation is on Tuesday. But as you know, I don't want to do this on Monday stream. I don't want to do this twice. So I'd like to get it mostly done today. I'm not here this weekend, so yeah. We don't talk about AngularJS. First rule of Angular Club is we don't talk about Angular. So yeah, this presentation is a combination of tech and people, because that's the analogy, basically. So what I started out with was thinking about the data cake. So why the analogy? And also, why are we talking about this? I think the analogy is, I have to find a way to formulate this. What is it? And then open discussion and questions. Now, I think this is too generic, actually. I think we need to go here, not just what is it, what the analogy stands for. Cake, tech, recipe. Oh no, we said recipe was tech, sorry. Get lost in my own thoughts. Recipe is tech, and then bakers are the people. I'll probably take those out afterwards, but I will say them. This is very hype music. Should we change the music, chat? I feel like we should change to something a bit more relaxed. It's meant to be more of a chill stream today. I feel like I'm at a club. It's a bit intense. I mean, I like EDM, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we're clubbing. So yeah, I think we should change it. My head bobs. I can also semi-dab. I can't dab very well. Oh, but I wanted to show you all my t-shirt before we change the music. I love this t-shirt. I think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. I do love that it has a little sticker. The life skills series. And that's, I wore it because I'm running away from my problems this weekend. I'm literally running away. We're just driving to Austria to a spa and we'll come back Sunday and all my problems will be gone. I don't remember where I got it from, Aaron, but if I remember, thank you for throwing a paper ball at me though, I appreciate it. If I remember where I got it, I can send you a link. It was from one of the big shops that I know, one of the big online stores. Not Redbubble, not T-Turtle, it's one of the other ones. Okay, so dab on the t-shirt. So we're definitely going to change. You driving to my old home country? Yes, Steffi, we are driving to Austria because we can't afford to go to a spa here in Switzerland because I don't have enough Twitch subs. That's the reality. Hey D3, how you doing? Nice to see you. I saw you all over the place on Twitch today. Yes, F in chat because I don't have enough Twitch subs to afford a spa weekend with my partner.
They're great.
No! No, Aaron, why? Thank you. Thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. You can sub for free with Twitch Prime. Please go to a nice spa. Yeah, we're going this weekend. Perfect timing. It's great. I can use Bezos's delicious money to spend it in Austria. Austria will welcome your money. Yes, they will. I'm sure. Oh, I wanted to switch. Okay, we're gonna switch. Gonna switch to chill pop. Mr. Bez on the giant PP rocket with our money. You know what's funny, Aaron? Everyone thought Bezos was going to space to like, you know, discover new frontiers and stuff. He's looking for employees that he can pay cheap because aliens don't know anything about unions or anything. He can hire all these aliens with 8 arms for his Amazon warehouses. And think of how productive an alien would be compared to a normal human with 2 arms. And he can pay this alien even less money because they don't know about unions, they don't know about the laws here. That's totally the reason he went to space. So they have no rights on Earth. Exactly. Yeah, do join our Discord, Data Dev, if you're not already in there. It's a great place. We can talk about theories like that, about how Bezos spent 2 decades of space research to go into space to find aliens to work in the Amazon warehouse. Are we going to Vorarlberg or another federal state? We are going to, let me not dox myself. Give me 1 second. Let's do it this way. Let me just check where we're going. True. What is up with billionaires in space war? What are they majoring?
Nice.
Hey, Ian. Thank you very much for the 100 biddies. That's very nice indeed. And everybody go drop. Let's see if we can land while we're looking up which spa. Ah, what are they measuring? Who knows? Who knows, Nightlight? I mean, Space Wars, it's just like the next frontier kind of thing. Let me check where we're going because I actually don't know specifically the province. Steffi landed. Look at that. 59.90. Ooh, Jay Walter. That's solid. That's solid. That's looking pretty good. That's looking good. Oh, you might just skim it. Oh, no. You skimmed it. You skimmed it. That's okay. You get it next time, Jay Walter. So we're headed to... Where is that? That's too far south. That's Liechtenstein. We're not going over there. We're headed to... We're headed to a place... where is it? I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. It's not far from the border. It's rigged because Steffi landed. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're gonna be around this area here. If that answers your question. I don't know what province this is, Steffi. We're gonna be around here. That's Feldkirch. I think it's, yeah, around this area. I'd have to look specifically. Oh, that's Vorarlberg. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the provinces as well as the ones here, obviously. So that is where we're going to be. It's about 2.5 hours drive from here. So we'll leave tomorrow morning. We'll get there probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then we will spend literally the next 32 hours in the spa, basically. We booked a hotel that is specifically, basically just for the spa and pools. So yeah. Obviously I'm not going to show you which hotel it is, because I don't want anyone to, like, you know, turn up IRL and like be weird or something. But I can definitely share the link with you after we've been, if you like. Or you can reach out to me on Discord if you like, if you're really, really curious about where it is. I just refreshed and it's select women from panther.murder. That's a very interesting code you've got there, random code generator. It's a good thing that it is random, because yeah, that's a little bit creepy. What I just noticed is this is not centered, is it? This isn't centered, right? No, it's not, is it? Someone should do a PR. Watch how this project started. There's even a YouTube video about it. Isn't that awesome? If you're curious about this, then you can visit it yourself and try it out. I wrote this SQL generator. Isn't that cool? It was my first open source code contribution ever. And it was extremely useful, obviously. So getting back to the presentation. So why the analogy? Why are we talking about this? What the analogy stands for, recipe tech and people, as evidenced by randomly lulled by Maddie Two Shoes. And how it works in practice. I don't know if I need this part, because obviously if I'm including an analogy, I'm going to explain the actual concept. I feel like that's maybe redundant. Then I usually have like this sort of intro slide thing. I currently work at a media company. If anyone wanted to know that, it's public domain information. So this is the why. And I wanted to add some kind of animation thing here. But essentially, why data cake? Why? The idea is we want to increase self-sufficiency of stakeholders, meaning that we collect data in a smart way, we process it in a smart way, and we visualize it in a smart way. Now, the problem with saying visualization is that people immediately jump to the idea of a dashboard. And data is so much more than just dashboards. It can be, there are tons of data products. It can be something like a, Twitch recommending you what to watch next. is a data product because it's built off of your past history. So I want to find a better word for this because I don't like this word. So intelligent data collection, processing, and usage? I don't know. It's a weird... I need a better word. I don't know what word yet, but I'm going to color it red so I don't forget. Maybe chat, you can help if you have suggestions. I mean, this is backseating allowed. I didn't put the tag, but you can backseat with suggestions and feedback. I'm more than happy if you want to give your inputs here. So why do we want to do this? There are many different reasons. So for example, maintaining licensing. So the costs that we spend to maintain tool licensing do not scale proportionately, because essentially we most of the time pay for collecting more data, but more data doesn't mean better results. This is the problem. So I'm going to put a note here: more data equals higher cost, but doesn't equal necessarily better results. Another reason is data presentation. I'll put it in there, Steffi. It's a nice suggestion. The second reason is conceptual changes in analytics. So this is a little bit detailed, but essentially when someone opens a website and they go to a certain page, I don't know, let's go for example, let's pick a website that I never go to. I don't know, BBC. Whatever. So I now open this page and then that's a page view. And they're obviously doing some testing or something. As you can see, everything just changed. So I now would register this as a page view, but there's a lot of technical reasons about why that isn't correct anymore. Because there's a lot of sites, if we look at, for example, White Panther's site, you know, this has a lot of content on it. And when I go to read more, you might not consider this an actual page view. You might consider this just a switching to another piece of content that's within the same frame or something like that. So, you know, conceptual changes of how the web is being built is different than it was 10 years ago. Where, you know, I've talked about the death of the page view for several years now. I do believe that it should not exist as a concept anymore. Basically now a lot of behavioral analytics is talking about just events, clickstream. We also have heavy involvement of IT or development teams, which have strong release dependencies. So when we want to put data into our products, like, you know, Twitch's recommendation algorithm, then we're dependent on those tech teams and they have release cycles. You know, we can't just release something, you know, on the day of the week that we want. And that's despite having a TMS or tag management system, which enables us to push code live without our development teams. And developers hate that, by the way. But that doesn't help us here, right? It doesn't help us. If we want to publish like a data product or something really useful, we often have to get development teams. We have an inflexibility of existing data systems and reporting frameworks. Stuff that we have now, stuff that we've been using for years, is sorely lacking when it comes to the requirements that people have today in how they want to use data. That's just the reality. We have tons of teams implementing analytics related features. So things like, I don't know, let's use the Twitch recommendations example. And often that recommendation feature is triggered by not the analytics team, it might be triggered by product or another team. And the issue is that they'll spend often, they'll often spend a lot of time changing things and doing a lot of things that are outside the original scope, so scope creep. And basically these teams get pulled into like these cycle of changes where it's like, oh, we want the recommendation feature to work this way, and oh no, we want it to work this way, we want it to work this way. And that's terrible. It's just never ending. QA for analytics is awful. So quality assurance. Let me give you an example. Okay, I go to BBC. We go to BBC again. Now let's imagine that someone going to the BBC website, let's imagine that an analytics person here has to figure out whether their information is firing properly. Okay, so they have to figure out if the information is being sent properly. Now I don't know what tools BBC uses, but we're going to see very quickly. Let's see what they use. So for example, they use Chartbeat. Chartbeat is like a real-time analytics tool. So the analyst is going to check for Chartbeat. So they're going to go here, they're going to go check here Chartbeat, they're going to check if things are loaded. They see that the JS has been loaded, and then I don't know, I'm going to click on the page a couple times. I don't think it will trigger anything. Now it did. Okay. So, you know, and I have to go to this request and I have to manually check whether everything is correct. There's a buttload of analysts that do this, right? There's a buttload of QA engineers who are basically, their job is no other than to check whether the values in these requests correspond to what is supposed to be. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And yes, there are ways to automate this, but nobody does it. And it's terrible. Okay, so let's close BBC again. And this is the thing. It's complicated. Data is complex. It's not, oh, let's just track the app or something like that. It is actually legitimately hard. And that's why you need specialists for it. Just like you need specialists for front end. Just like you need specialists for back end. Just like you need specialists for DevOps and design and all the other stuff that you need for your company. You also need specialists for data. It's not a joke. You need it. And so I think that you can align all of these activities of a data team into a framework, which is called the data cake. And it has 3 layers. I know that some cakes have like 6 layers. Like, if we look at wedding cakes, obviously my search results are going to be ridiculous now because they're going to think I'm trying to get married or something. But, you know, there are some ridiculous wedding cakes. Like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, see, this is 6 layers, okay? I don't think that we need 6 layers, chat. I don't think we need 6 layers. 3 is sufficient to explain the concept. In theory, you could slot in a 4th, but I think it's enough. So why am I using a cake analogy? So some of the reasons I already talked about before. Cake, so you need a recipe, which is the tech, and you need a baker, people to execute. If you don't have a baker, you can't make the cake. Very simple. So you can bake the cake alone, but it's a lot of work, so it's better as a team. Basically, if you have more people involved, it's fine, but there's also a cap, right? If you have too many people trying to bake the cake at the same time, it's gonna mess up. So everyone needs to have dedicated tasks, right? And you could have a team where one person is responsible for measuring flour and one person is responsible for measuring salt and one person, you can divide the tasks as granularly as you want, right? There's no limitation to that. But basically, the number one reason was you can't build the top layers of a cake without thinking about the bottom. Why? Because of gravity. So if you build the top of the cake and the bottom isn't strong enough, it will collapse. And the analogy here is that you can think about data visualization and data warehousing and that kind of stuff. But if you haven't sorted out data collection properly first, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just going to be trash. It's going to collapse. Shit in, shit out. Shit in, shit out. And that's copyright. Something like that. Does that make sense? The second thing is, decoration is important, like how it looks. But the taste of the cake is equally, if not more important. And I think this applies to a real cake. I don't know, like you look at a cake and you think, this must taste really good. If the cake doesn't taste good, or it didn't meet your expectations, it wouldn't matter how it looks in the end. It has to taste good. And this is like, fancy dashboards or data products are only effective if the data underneath is high quality and well documented. So basically, if you get a piece of cake and it's wet and sticky and doesn't taste good, then you're not going to use it. You're not going to eat any more cake. And if you get a data product that is super confusing and doesn't make any sense to you, but it looks great visually, you're not going to use it again either. That's the analogy. Changing the recipe on the fly often results in burnt cake. So if you decide to just suddenly do some weird changes to your recipe, like I don't know, you decide to double the baking powder, it's probably going to turn out pretty bad. Like you would need a lot of luck that it doesn't blow up, right? Or burn. And this is the same thing in the tech world. I think this actually applies to most things in reality. I guess, I don't know how you feel about that, chat, but changing requirements or systems without thinking about consequences usually ends really badly. So it's going to be missing data, broken reports, etc. And I think this usually happens with everything. So if someone decides, yeah, we're gonna go live with this tomorrow, even though it's only half done. This kind of stuff, like just sudden decisions and sudden changes can be really bad without thinking about consequences. And so if we think about this cake analogy of layers, then we need to explain what the layers are, right? You hate that, Aaron. Yeah, I bet you have encountered that a few times. I've encountered that a lot. So the first layer are the stakeholders. So it's actually a 4-layer cake because it has the stakeholders on top. They're supported by the cake. So stakeholders are, let's talk about, thank you, Ian, internal and external. So let's do ext and int. The stakeholders are responsible for using, aka eating, the cake. So you had enough points to throw the paper ball now, Ian, right? They're responsible for eating the cake. We have to release tomorrow. Okay, but it'll be broken. That's fine. Oh my god, why is it broken? Yeah, 100%. Exactly. It's always like that. It's always like that. And it would be so much easier if you just thought about requirements and implications first. But often that doesn't happen for, I think, a lot of different reasons. 2 shoes without one as carpool. There's some pretty funny ones. Your mom.wind, where drive is 78790. Oh gosh, I wrote this weird stuff. So the top layer is what I call the output layer. Maybe this needs to be called like collection, processing, and output. Maybe it needs to be called output. I don't know. One of those will match. So the output layer, it contains all possible formats. Usually C-suites and board members get impatient. Yes, Aaron. 100%. And they're not familiar with the specifics, which is not good, because in reality, my opinion is that someone in C-suite should be trusting their employees. they should be trusting their employees to make the decisions that are correct. And it should be very, very rare, or even actually impossible, that they force something to happen. But they have deadlines too, so I kind of get it. Well, yes. Okay. Example. You need to be GDPR compliant by date X. Fine. So legally speaking, they need to be doing something. And there's a deadline. Fine. Okay, I understand that. Then they're going to force it and it's going to go through. It's a must. It's not going to happen any other way. But created by people who don't see the process. Exactly. So this is the problem. Instead of imposing a deadline, what they should be doing is going to their employees and saying, how long do you need to do this? In what form? So this is like max, min, or whatever you want to call it. And they give suggestions. The employees, like a team lead or whatever, would say, okay, we need like 3 months for this full-fledged approach, and we need like 1 month for like a minimum viable version. And they have to choose. They make a business decision about which one they would like to have, right? But then don't come 2 months into the project and say, okay, I know we gave you 3 months, but now you have to launch next week. That's not okay. Like, you either care about their opinion and you either trust that they're going to do a good job, or why did you hire them? Like, if you just hire smart people to tell them what to do, you're just wasting your money, right? I mean, you should hire smart people so they tell you what to do. Then you say the real number, they're like, what, really? Come on, that should be done faster. Yeah, so I hate those things. I really hate those discussions, which is why I don't have them anymore. I just say the estimation and they take it or leave it. That's it. So the output layer contains all possible formats for stakeholders. It can be a CSV dump in whatever. It can be a super fancy data dashboard. Doesn't matter. Oops. The business layer would be responsible for transforming data or configuring it in some way. So it could be, this is where code lives. This is where definitions live of what a metric is, like what does signups mean exactly. This is where this will live. And then there's the collection layer, which is really fat. Obviously, it's the base of the cake. That's where all the stuff comes in. That's where all the data comes in. Regardless of source and regardless of use case. That's way, at least multiply my estimation by 2.5 to have some room to play. It's also dangerous though, if you keep multiplying your estimates and you never take that long, and they track that over time, they'll keep asking you, the last 3 times we did this, you said, originally you said 1 day, and it only took you half a day. Why is it taking you half the amount of time to do those things? You know, Steffi? Like, it also carries risk to do that. I understand your reasoning for doing that, but that also carries risk in my opinion. I'm just upfront and say, to do this properly, with documentation, in this format, with these requirements that you've said, whatever the thing is, it could be a data thing, could be a programming thing, doesn't matter. This is how much it's going to take. This is the amount, and that's it. And if you want to skim if you want to change requirements, that's fine, but then we'll estimate it again. Very simple. Okay, so these are the 3 layers. Then we would start at the bottom. And I made this little graphic, and I realize now that the colors are off. That doesn't stand out. I want to use my pink. So I have my colors, right? This pink I use is called French Lilac. Is that obvious enough? I feel like it's not obvious enough. What do you think, chat? Does that make sense? Or should I put this like down here or something? I don't know. I'm worried about formatting and not about content. Which is also not good, actually. But I'm just going to change the color, because if I change the color for one of them, I need to change all of them. Pretzel election. So, okay, so let's start at the bottom. Collection layer. So this is where we get a bit technical, right? So my talk is meant to be a mix between tech and business. So we're going to want to ingest data from external sources. We're going to want to receive data from external sources, not the same thing. So we could ingest or receive. So it could be that we program like Jay Walter did, we program something ourselves against the YouTube API, but it could also be that we have some endpoints set up and people send us data. It's also possible. Or we ingest data from our own sources. I forgot that I put that in there, Steffi. Yeah, so we could have like our own collectors for behavioral data. We could have some RESTful APIs. We could have CSV dumps, FTP servers, IoT. Let's include IoT in there as well. Everything. Doesn't matter where from. And in this layer, we will have different things like orchestrators like Airflow, which is open source, which just moves data from A to B. We can have some SaaS stuff. Sorry, that came out of nowhere. We could have some SaaS tools that do the same thing as Airflow, like Matillion, Fivetran, Stitch, Xplenty, etc. We could have some Python CSV import tool that we programmed running on a server. Could be. We might have some middleware APIs running between different systems. Here we would have databases. We would have, Microsoft SQL Server, Redshift, BigQuery, Snowflake, Postgres. We would have tools in the front end like Insight and Ortelium, which most of you may not be familiar with. Possibly, I don't know, because I haven't really talked about those things in the past. So yeah, those do a lot of sort of the behavioral data stuff. And we would have collectors. Now, some of these tools, like Google Analytics, so Steffi, you mentioned Google Analytics before. Google Analytics, for example, spans across multiple layers of the cake. And there's a reason for that. Because when we talk about the second layer of the cake, the business layer, I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know if that's a good word for it. Maybe logic layer is better? Logic layer? Does that make more sense as a logic layer? I don't know if that's a better word. But essentially, the logic layer is responsible for transformation or configuration of data. So for example, if you want to have machine learning models, or you want to report in a data warehouse, or you want to come up with some raw event exploration stuff, whatever you want to do. Business logic and decisions are defined here and documented accordingly. This is very important. I actually want to highlight this. Oops, that's a bit too weird. So business logic and decisions are defined here and documented accordingly. It's quite important because if you decide to have a metric, and the metric is called, I don't know, website signups, it should be here. And it's documented and implemented technically. That's the important thing. So you have schema management stuff like dbt data form. You've got DBMS like, oh, I included Postgres here actually. But technically, okay. Technically it's already included with the database. We could probably take that out. you've got all these SaaS tools like Databricks, DataAQ, Datadog. Have you noticed they all start with D? Where's DataDev? I think your username is like a pioneer, or you started a trend of some kind, because all the data tools are named with D. You might have your analytics software like R, SPSS, whatever. All the programming languages, Python, MATLAB, SQL, all those things, as well as stuff like BI software, and as well as your stuff like Google Analytics. And the reason is that Google Analytics takes your data and processes it for you according to some logic and rules. And those rules are sometimes not clear or visible, which is why they need to be better documented. We were talking about Google's poor documentation before. We need to have better documentation from Google.
I think
Sorry.
I am getting a text message. Bloop. Ah, there it is.
We need to have better documentation than Google does. And so sometimes those tools, it's not really clear what's happening, which is very bad in my opinion. And then we have documentation tools like Miro, Trello, Confluence, whatever. Petition for Google to improve. Yeah. We should just create, what is it? Change.org? I think it's change.org. We can start a petition. Start a petition. Let's do it. Maybe we can search for one. Can we search for one? Google documentation. Google let Android users install custom overlays, shut down doxing, slander, cyberbullying websites. Okay. No. Well, we'll just start one. Let's just start one, chat. Local health, politics, human rights, economic justice. Which category is it in? Education. You can be the pioneer / trendsetter. Education. Stop. No. Get criminal justice. Get Google to write better documentation for their products. Someone just has to clip this, and then we will be able to we'll be able to use it later. I will do it, it's fine. Put it on Twitter like, look what I did today, you know. Keep it short to the point. Buy organic free-range eggs for your restaurant, not stop the humane. Yeah, okay. Great, who has the power to make change? So who's responsible for this? Google. Google Inc. Oh wait, look at that, look! They're even listed. Google. All the forms. Google Inc. Google Inc. Okay. Explain the problem. Google's documentation is garbage. Garbage. Get them to clean it up and provide real documentation that works for developers and everyone else who needs to use their products. Great, you've started writing your petition. Rerun back in another 858 more characters before you finish. No. Upload a photo. I have to find an appropriate photo. Really? Okay. This is the perfect photo. I have to save it. I'm only half serious about this, but I'm tempted. Let's put it that way. You may want to try a larger photo. Okay. Save in preview. Oh, now I have to sign up. Can't I see the preview without... I wanted to see the preview without actually starting it. Okay, whatever. So now they will have in their analytics software will tell them that someone got all the way to that point and then they abandoned the funnel. But that's fine. Because, you know, funnels are for... I don't know. Funnels are just weird. Fuck funnels, man. Really can't hear about funnels anymore. Okay, so all this stuff together, this makes sense. Ian has enough points to throw paper balls at me all night. Output layer. Visualize data in any way, shape, or form, including CSV. Okay. We use data in products like recommender systems. So this was the one I was talking about with Twitch, like Twitch's recommendation algorithm. So if you open a Twitch window and you're not logged in, right? Go to twitch.tv. You will see completely different recommendations here. Yeah, obviously. You will see completely different recommendations here in this wheel than if you're logged in. That's it. So the ones you see here, I don't know why. I don't know why you see those. Like, there's just a reason. But yeah, this you just see those recommendations according to their algorithm. So example tools in this layer, in the top layer, are spreadsheet tools like Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, OpenOffice. I don't know if we need to include OpenOffice. I was just being politically correct to include them, but I guess we can just use. What's Apple's spreadsheet software called? I don't even know. Do they have one? I think they do. Is it called Numbers? Yeah, Numbers. Okay. If I just write Apple Numbers, isn't that confusing? Does anyone even use that? Okay, I'm just gonna include those two because I don't really. So you've got BI software like Looker, Mode, Domo, Sisense, Tableau. A few of you may have heard of Tableau before. It's quite common. Mode and Looker as well, very, very common. All the visualization stuff: Shiny, Plotly, ggplot2, d3.js, chart.js, tools like Google Data Studio, Chartio, Good Data. Although Chartio shut down now, we should get rid of it. And of course, analytics software like Adobe Analytics, Google Analytics. We should include another one like Mixpanel, just so we know. Because they've collected the data. You've sent them the data that you wanted, right? They've collected it for you, let's say. And then they include some more GDPR-friendly analytics tools. Sure, like Pivik. Friendly. So let's put an asterisk here and then take the asterisk out. Oh, no. It's only part of it is Matomo, right? Isn't it? So they still have a product called Pivik Pro. This was the thing. Hold on. So I know that they rebranded Steffi, but they have this thing that is... I I reject all your cookies. So they have Pivik Pro. Where was this thing? Hold on a second. They have like both products? I don't even understand it. Right. Matomo was rebranded from Pivik. And now they also have a product called Pivik Pro. So some of our employees contributed code for the open source Pivik project. Early on, Pivik Pro provided enterprise level support and premium features. In 2016, our paths diverged. We're now two separate organizations, each with its own plans and guiding principles. We realize that for us it seems obvious, it might not be so from an outsider's perspective. So there's a 12-chapter guide explaining this. Oh gosh, okay. So there's Matomo and Pivik Pro, which are now completely separate companies. Okay. So we're gonna include Matomo. We'll just make it easy. We'll just include friendly analytics. This is a friendly.is. This is actually built in Switzerland. 12 chapters. Are they German speaking? Yes, they are actually. They are totally German speaking. So yeah. That explains 12 chapters, doesn't it? I mean, no one else can explain a rebrand with 12 chapters than German people. I guess. I'm not being offensive, by the way. I'm saying that German people are very thorough. They have a reputation for being very thorough. Yes. So SQL is definitely fun. Also, all those long words need room. Yeah, of course. They only used long words in English as well, just to be consistent. So let's call it Analytics Suites. I think that's a better word for it. Hello? There we go. Okay. There's like, can someone start counting how many times we have used the word analytics in this presentation? Are you all hearing the sound as well of the paper ball? I don't have it set for me as I'm hearing it, so, but you should be able to hear it. I can bump it up louder if it's not loud enough. Should we have a counter of analytics? Yeah, we could do an analytics counter. I have a group by counter, but I don't have an analytics counter. Sorry. You can just keep track for me. Okay, so this is the top. So data products, output files, and then, I mean, it'll just be like code, right? Or like custom code. HTML, CSS. So a good example of this, something we did, Uber Lyft rides NYC. Where was this? Data viz. Commands. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I'll consider it. I will. No, it's not this one. It's this one. I think it's command for stream elements. Yeah, it's, well, I know the stream elements has like a thing. Okay, so let's look at this, for example. This is a potential data product. Okay. Did you play the Google game yet? No, it's on my list though. We could play it. We could play it after this. I'm almost done, actually. There's only a couple slides. So this is the tech part anyway. So look at this data product, right? We can actually look at different cities' usage of taxi and ride hailing services. Yeah, no one's a mod, Aaron. Don't feel bad. And this is not just about visualization. This is about how the data is being processed. This is about having filter options, and I don't know what this is built in, but it's probably built in some kind of semi-custom thing, right? And this is pretty shocking. Is actually March 2020. He mods himself, small streamer privilege. That is true, Steffi. I mod myself. Self-modded. I think I can ban myself from chat. Probably. Anywho, so that's just an example. Now, what could an example stack look like? I just put something together. Just as an example. What about the team and stakeholders? So this is a valid question. I think I should change the background color. Change background. He's very moddy. Oh, data dev. What kind of pun is that? You don't have permissions to ban Matty Two Shoes. Nobody does. Steffi, come on.
Bruh.
You can't mod me in my own chat. What did you think? Just because you're modding like 150 channels doesn't give you like auto mod capability here, you know? Doesn't work that way. Okay, so what about the team and the stakeholders? So I said this was a tech and people thing. So here's the people part, okay? The team should work with a system called skill-based matching. I need to revise this because it's way too much text. But basically, everybody in the team has certain skills. What's that quote from Taken? I have a certain set of skills. What if it does? You don't know what Twitch coded. Oh yeah, I really don't actually. Nobody does. Data dev, mod your own business, Steffi. Okay. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one, data dev. That's pretty good. So essentially, skill-based matching is a principle that I did not invent. I just think it's really, really clever. And it's a great way for people to work within their skill set. So imagine I'm really good at SQL, but I suck at Python. Imagine that we get a task in the team. We have a shared Jira board, for example. And so we have a stand-up, maybe every day or every 2 days or whatever. And there's a task that requires Python. Someone in the team will say, okay, yeah, I have Python skills, so I can do it. I can do it then and then because otherwise I have too many things going on. But someone else might also have Python skills, and they might say, oh, actually, I could do it today. I have some time. Would that be okay for you? And the other person says, sure, why not? And this can happen in a stand-up, and this can happen independently as well. Like people could just take tickets to their, you know, they could self-assign tickets as well. Same thing with SQL, same thing with any kind of analytics questions, all kinds of that stuff. So yeah, this could really work that way. And I've seen teams that work that way. And I think that is the future versus like the normal approach, which is like, so I am the team lead today. And in this team meeting, we are going to discuss the following projects that are coming over the next 2 weeks. And I think you should do this and you should do that because your title is analytics engineer and your title is data analyst. And so the data analyst can only do data analyst things. Because you're putting people in boxes and you should stop putting people in boxes. I don't fit in a box. You don't fit in a box. They don't fit in a box. Nobody fits into a box. Stop putting people in boxes. And stop comparing programming languages. Honestly. Freaking makes me so angry that people like, oh yeah, SQL is better than Python or whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. People should just use what they think is the right tool for the job. You don't walk up to a plumber and tell him, oh, I think wrenches are better than screwdrivers. Nobody cares. They're just tools. Exactly, Steffi. They're just tools. It's a pee-pee measuring contest again. Hey, Yasmin. Nice to see you. Did you find your voice again? I know that you lost it. Or was it on purpose? Might have been on purpose. So I think skill-based matching really works. Then you have a workflow structure. So this is how I imagine this to work. I might have to zoom in for this. I don't know if you can see it. So imagine that there's a team uses something in their organization called OKRs. That's a way to align, they're called objective key results, and that means the company has like goals for the quarter, okay? There's OKR based work, and then there's daily operations, right? There's like person X who says they need report YZ, whatever. All that stuff gets funneled through like this single point of contact, who is like a technical project manager in that sense. They would check required skills for something, they would check availability. Like I said, this could be self-assigned, but you could also have this person in there. They would check this skill person matching, and then if there's any issues, they could escalate to the team lead. They could say, hey, I have two stakeholders that put in an urgent request at the same time, and the business value of both is very high. How do you want to handle this? I actually don't have one. I can get out a whisper sometimes. Oh, really, Yasmin? I wasn't aware of that, actually. I wasn't aware of that. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you, by the way. I wasn't aware. That's a very challenging thing to deal with. So they could escalate that to a team lead and say, okay, I have two stakeholders. They asked the same thing. They asked for similar, or not similar, but they asked for requests at the same time. And I don't know how to prioritize one or the other. But if there aren't any issues, then they just plan and coordinate with the team, and it could just be simple Jira tickets, right? Very simple. So that's that. Okay, that's a workflow structure. I might have to go over this visualization, I don't know. And this is the team structure, and it looks like chaos. It looks like chaos. Thanks, Yasmin. Thanks. So you never talk on stream at all then? That's quite challenging. That's very challenging. Could you like get something for like your voice box? Or yeah, I like if you're not willing to talk about it, I just find it very interesting that you've chosen to stream not being able to talk. I think that's quite challenging. Because I think a lot of people will expect you to talk on stream. I mean, there are streams that people don't talk, like when they're sleeping, for example, which I don't really understand those, but it could be like one of those things that there's maybe like an automated way for you to get your thoughts out without you having to type everything, is what I mean. Because right now, if I had to type everything I was saying, I'd be going bonkers. And I'd be typing like 10% of what I'm saying. Muscle disease, I used to be able to. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that, Yasmin. It's really unfortunate. And I admire your courage. I really admire your courage to stream. Really. I think that's incredible. That's really awesome. I need to make a small note of something. Yasmin streams on Twitch. Yasmin streams all kinds of cool tech related things. So if you're not following Yasmin, you should definitely go follow. Yeah, text to speech could only work if someone can talk at all, but a whisper might be enough if you turned up, like you cranked mic sensitivity to the max, for example. Yep. CSS on Free Code Camp. Absolutely. Definitely go take a look. I was in your stream a couple times already, Yasmin, and looked like you were making really good progress, so that's cool. Really like that. And I think it just takes, for anyone, like I don't have any disabilities, and I think seeing some people on Twitch with disabilities, I like, as a streamer, I understand that streaming is already hard, but I have no idea what it must be like to stream with a disability, really. And I admire you, Yasmin, and everybody else who's taking that step to stream and show others that what is possible even with disabilities. I really admire that. I think that's really great. And teams are chaos, Aaron. You're absolutely right. I tried to visualize in a little bit like how I think a data team will operate. Essentially, you have members within the team who have different skill sets. A lot of them will be analysts, because that's a lot of the work comes from analyzing data. And essentially, specialists within other teams liaise with specialists from other teams, who then liaise with those particular people in the data team. But there's like an effect of cross-pollination. Steffi says, seeing streamers with disabilities is why I'm focused to make the web more accessible. Accessibility is important. White Panther talks about that all the time, and it is a super important topic. Accessibility for the web, I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of people who use the web every day, and so many websites are not accessible. And just simple things like being able to tab through a website or something like that, which can make a huge difference for someone with disabilities. That's very true. Not just streamers, that's great. So we have our team structure basically like someone from product could ask a question today, and you know, they deal with person A, but they could ask another question tomorrow or the day after, and they'll deal with person B. That's the idea. So I don't know if this makes sense at all. Maybe I need to flip this around or draw another one. How did I even draw that? Polyline. Cool. That seemed to work. I don't want any fill. Transparent fill. Speaking of fill,
I'm hip. I surf the web. I text. LOL. Laugh out loud. OMG. Oh my god. WTF. Why the face?
hey Dr. Padawan, Maddie Sequel Shoes. How are you doing today, Dr. Padawan? Thanks for joining us. Heck, even I want to be able to tab through a website and I'm not disabled. Steffi. Although whether you're disabled or not, disabilities come in a lot of different forms. Oh, Padawan, that's a solid landing. 8138. That is freaking amazing. WTF, why the face? Yeah. I guess you haven't seen the other one, Aaron.
Yeah.
Bow to my might. Oh, Aaron looks like she might land. But I think Padawan's is better. Yep, probably. Maddie, 2 queries. Modern Family is just so good. I love it. I love it so much. I also love Brooklyn, which is why I have so many Brooklyn ones queued. My favorite. Let's go, Aaron. No, Aaron, no. Yeah, drop game is rough. Congratulations, Dr. Padawan. You've watched Modern Family 4 times? Like the entire show? Or Brooklyn? Anyway, so I was doing polyline stuff. This is pink. I should make it more CI/CD friendly. Gosh, I can't. I just can't. It's gotta be red. No, that's terrible. I'm gonna use pink. Don't have a choice in the matter. I'm sorry, chat. It's gotta be pink. Oh, no, I should use different color for this one, right? All the neons. So this is... How thick is this? 3? Let's go to 2. I think that's too thick. 2. There we go. Okay, I want to get rid of the border. I think that makes it better. My eyes, my designer eyes. Can you design my slides for me, Aaron? Don't forget, I'm just a data person. I'm not, like, I can't design stuff. It's just not possible. I just write SQL. That's all I do. I'm trying to find a really good... This is great. From Panther Error. That's a weird one. Asian as black. That's interesting. Repetitive. Select men, comma, Fleisch. I love this. It's so bad. Ah! Your mom got breakfast. Oh. My eyes, my front-end dev eyes. I'm actually designing a pitch deck on Google Slides right now. Is it this one? Are you doing my slides, Aaron? Are you doing my slides for me? That would be super cool. Yeah, so this is done. And then there's like Q&A. So we have 19 slides in 30 minutes. And of those 19 slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are kind of garbage slides. It's a pitch deck for a startup. Ooh. Nice. We worked on our pitch deck for our startup like 3 months straight or something. And now we're very happy with it. But we still make little tweaks here and there, but... Okay, let's go. Let's drop. I'm tired of this. So we're gonna do something else. Before I end stream, we're gonna play a game. You've been getting freelance gigs recently, Aaron. That's awesome. So I did not land, which is embarrassing. Looks like no one has a chance to land. Ah, even Steffi's short. Nope. Bump. Oh, by the way, Aaron, thank you for booping me on the nose. I saw that you did that an hour ago. I'm a little bit late to the party. I'm sorry. A boop is what a rabbit does. They just boop. Wow, that doesn't look like my hand, does it? It looks like somebody else's hand has just booped me. So instead of doing this now, we are going to play a game. And not in a creepy way. We're going to play a funny game. Let me just get the link because I saved it. Ah, where is it? Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. So I wrote this was like a beginning of stream topic, but I think it could also be a end of stream topic. Let me see how this works. Let's see if we can play it together. Okay. Let's mute this site just in case. All right. We should have a custom thing here. Hold on one second. Is everyone getting hyped? I want to feel the hype in chat. That's the wrong one. I just realized that's the wrong one. And I don't care if this gets DMCA'd. Okay, Aaron's been hyped this whole time. Thank you for redeeming Cool Gang. We are playing Google Feud. What is Google Feud? It is about trying to figure out what it's trying to figure out what Google would say next. Damn, why is your stream so cool? Sound effects. That's because I am cool. Basically, that's the answer. And you're right that we probably need more hype music for this. So we will change to the actual hype category. There we go. Hold your head still. I'm trying to read in the glasses. Okay, here we go. Is that better, Steffi? All right. So chat, we're going to play Google Feud. I will play with you. We have to choose a category. So chat, choose a category. And we're going to see. I'm going to queue up the stuff. Basically how this works is we have to predict what Google is going to say. So let's pick a category. Oh my gosh, Aaron. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Data Dev. That will make my spa weekend a little bit sweeter. Thank you. People category, says Steffi. Okay, so that's good. How does Google autocomplete this query? So we're gonna type answers and people are gonna write in chat. I'm gonna just be a bystander. So everyone in chat, you're gonna have to put your answers. I want to like, let's put Kevin Hart. And what I do is I press search and it says wrong. It says no. So how does Google autocomplete this query? So we have to, everyone here has to submit suggestions. I will put a few suggestions in too if things are not going as fast. But I assume with the amount of people here, I want to like myself. Okay. Oh, that's wrong. That's not good. Someone. Oh, there we go. Good one, Steffi. That's a good one. Okay. Cats. Nope. We failed that round. We had 3 guesses and we lost. I want to like you. I want to like him, but I don't. Whiskey, coffee, wine. Why was this people? How is this people category? This is so odd. Okay, next round. I appreciate you, Aaron, and you, Data Dev, for your support. And everybody else in chat, I appreciate all of your support. It's so much fun to stream. That's the thing. It's crazy fun. So I'm gonna pick it's gonna be names this time. How does Google autocomplete? So, yeah, Steffi, I just saw your message. Names. Okay. So how does Google autocomplete? We get 3 guesses, chat. We can't go wrong this time. Karen Hare. Oh no. Karen video. Okay. Oh no. Karen embarrassment. Karen meme. Okay, let's do meme. I feel like embarrassing. Oh my gosh. We totally failed. Oh my gosh. Okay, that one was hard. I think this was names. So that was pretty hard, chat. We should probably do we should do a different one. So let's not do names. We'll stick away from people. We'll just do culture. Okay? Karen haircut. Meltdown, meaning, wife, gone wild. Burger King. Okay, McDonald's versus Burger King. That seems like a good one. Nice. Steffi, that's pretty Okay. Wendy's. Let's do Wendy's. Oh, nice. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Starbucks. Really? Okay. Oh, good one. Subway. Come on, chat. We can do this. Nice. Okay. Batman. McDonald's versus Batman. Okay. Oh, no. That wasn't a good one. Sorry, Nightlight. KFC. Oh, we're going good. Okay. We've got 5 left. And we can make 2 more mistakes. Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. That was wrong. Papa John's. Oh no! I'm sorry, what? McDonald's versus Jihad? How is that even a thing? Chicago, Taco Bell, In-N-Out, Liebeck? I don't even know what that is. That is just so... Oh my gosh. Okay, next type. I'm just changing glasses, those were very dark. Google's definitely wrong. Okay, next round. We're gonna play 5 rounds, chat, and then we're gonna go raid someone. Okay. Culture. Culture. We'll do questions next round, Steffi. Okay, chat. We gotta increase this time. We gotta level up. We gotta do way better. Okay. Chicago, the city? That was a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. McDonald's versus... Tom Hanks is old. No. Tom Hanks is hot? Nope. Ah, married to. Okay. Yep. We've got only one. We can only make 1 error left. So it's, okay. Tom Hanks is American? Oh. Someone said awesome. Sorry, Jay Walter. You would have gotten 1,000 points. Okay, we're gonna play another round. Questions. Father figure. That's a good one, Nightlight. That's a good one. Okay. Okay. Is it healthy to eat meat? Nice. Cheese. Nope. Not in there. Bacon. Also not in there. Oh, we gotta be careful now. 1 meal a day. Oh my gosh. It was once a day. Salad. Standing up. This is so weird, chat. This is honestly the weirdest thing. Okay, we'll do one more bonus round. Bonus round. Chat, choose a category. Raw eggs would have been in there. Yep. That's true. Yeah, chat. Go for it. One more round. One more. This is the last one. This is the last round. Questions, culture, questions. A couple more votes, chat. There's a few people here. I want to get everyone's opinion. Got about 10 people here, so. Questions, questions. All right, we'll do questions then. Oh no. worst possible category. Worst possible question to get. Why isn't Panther here? Why do men... Oh boy.
Wow.
Hey Leslie! Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I have to move my camera, I just realized. Why do men exist? Oh! Savage. How are you doing, Leslie? We're just playing a bit of Google Feud before I head off. But everyone, I'd like you to go check out Leslie's stream. She does a combination of Notion and Python stuff, which is pretty cool. Okay, so why do men smell so bad? Oh no, that's the second wrong. Hit women. Oh, Jay Walter. We can't do it. We can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna do loose hair. Oh, okay. I'm gonna... If this comes up... Oh my gosh. Why do men have nipples? Why do men grow beards? Oh gosh. This is really weird. This is a weird one. Why do men have nipples? Legit questions, chat. Leslie, chillin' having a lousy day, so I cancelled today's stream, back on Monday. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Leslie. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your day improves. I really hope so. Just think there's like way more hours left in the day, so it could definitely get better. Why do men grow beards, have facial hair, have beards? I don't know. My reason for growing a beard is very simple. Who came up with the idea that like thousands of years ago, someone decided to just put a knife to their face and say, oh, let's just take this off, like this doesn't belong here? Like what? Makes no sense. It makes just no sense to me. Really. Also with like women shaving legs, all this, it just makes zero sense to me that someone would decide, I want to take an extremely sharp blade and put it next to my delicate skin on my face repeatedly, multiple times per week, sometimes daily for some people. Yeah, I've never done Google Feud before with chat, but it was something to just try out because we were having a shorter stream today, doing some stuff with doing some stuff. I was preparing a presentation. It's in the way. What's in the way? Beard? Beard in the way? Aha, right, because it becomes so large. Yeah, but you don't have to do that. You can just sort of trim it, right? You can just keep it at a whatever is comfortable for you. For once, I think we can actually go raid someone who normally would raid me. Because we have a shorter stream today. We are definitely gonna do this. Nightlight, I'm glad you had fun. That's cool. That's really cool. And I really appreciate everybody here. And we have to change. We have to do the outro. Run the outro. I'm waiting for my producer to run the outro. Okay. This is the end of the stream today. I'll be back on Monday. Yes, I just referred to myself as a producer. I'm glad you thought it was amazing, Aaron, and that you had fun. I hope everybody had just as much fun as I did. I had a great time today. I enjoyed it a lot. Aaron, I really appreciate your sub and gift sub to Data Dev. That is so cool, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you to Leslie Lady of Code and Brandon T. Roberts for the follows as well. I really appreciate that. And Ian, as usual, I appreciate your toots and your biddies. Always very welcome in the stream and throwing balls. We are going to go raid Gak. Normally Gak is gonna raid us because he tends to finish his stream before my stream, but today I'm one-upping him. So please, let's go raid Gak and show him the hype and support that he deserves for programming his app. Did you buy it? Leslie, it was great to catch you as well. Thank you very much for joining stream. That was super cool. I don't have mods, but I have a producer. That's right. See you next time.